Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you an OP guide to building Astarion in Baldur's Gate 3. This is really for any type of rogue, so if you're playing as a rogue you can follow along with this. So the rogue is kind of like the DPS class of Baldur's Gate 3, although all classes do have damage potential here. For our ability points, I think it's best to have obviously our dexterity. This is the highest, as that's going to be impacting our ranged weapons as well as finesse weapons, which are like knives and the short swords that rogues would be using. So we want that nice and high. We also want our constitution pretty high as well, so I'm going to put that to 15 just for the extra health that we do get. I'll take wisdom down to 12 and put it into intelligence, as we do get firebolt as being a high elf gives you that firebolt, which is going to scale off of intelligence. So we're going to go with something like looks like that, dexterity being the most important, and then constitution being our second most important. So going through the level up here, we're going to go with just pure level 12 rogue, even though rogue mixed with ranger I think is a little bit better. So cunning action, hide, dash, and disengage is what we get for our second level there. And as we get into level 3, this is where the big difference is made with our subclass. Now the rogue has two that stand out above others. Arcane Trickster gives you some spells, which I think is not the best. Assassin's nice because you get the Assassin's Initiative, which gives you advantage on attack rolls against creatures that haven't made a turn yet. And then we also get the Assassinate Ambush. Any successful attack roll against a surprise creature is a critical hit, as well as at the start of combat you get your action and bonus action. So Assassin can be nice, but Thief gets fast hands, which gives us an additional bonus action. And in Act 1 or 2 you can get something that allows you to use your Lithid potential as a bonus action, which makes this build actually quite crazy. So this really depends. If you want to use a Lithid, your Lithid potential, go with Thief. If you want to just be a damage dealer, go Assassin. You also get the second story works. You may master the art of falling, gain resistance to fallen damage. Not a huge difference, but we're going to talk a little bit about this as we get through the video on why we wanted to be choosing that. Now, level 2, we get our feat. So there's a few different ones you can build around, but I really do think that one of the best, I guess, starting ones is ability improvement. Although dual wielder, you can use two weapon fighting even if your weapons aren't light, and you gain a +1 to action class while wielding a weapon in each hand. You cannot dual wield heavy weapons. I think that this is a pretty decent one to have, even though we're going to be sticking with light weapons. This does give us a +1 to armor class, which is kind of a nice thing to have, as well as yeah, just the options that this opens up. Personally, you'll see down the road. We're going to continue on. You can also use ability improvement, increase your dexterity and constitution, but on the next level we get uncanny dodge, so your lightning quick reflexes to protect yourself. When attacks hit you only take half the usual damage, which is really nice to have. So that's great as a rogue for survivability, as not the most defensive of classes. For our skills we can swap them out here, but the rogue just stays pretty much consistent through that level there. Now rogue level 7, this is where we get another class feature of the evasion. So your agility lets you dodge out of the way of certain spells. When a spell or an effect would deal half damage on a successful dexterity saving throw, it deals no damage if you succeed and only half damage if you fail. So that's huge, because now we can dodge half of the damage of a spell. So, and if we do succeed the saving throw, we do avoid it. So that is incredible. Astarion's quite a beast on his own. But if we were to do a multi-class with the ranger, you do get more of an offensive build. Now this next level here, we're going to be going, you can go with the ability improvement, but I think that alert is actually a pretty solid one to have, because we get a +5 to initiative and you can't be surprised. What makes this nice is your rogue is going to be moving first at the start of combat, and you can set up and do a lot with that, and you also can't be surprised, which is huge. So we're going to go with that for our feat. As we progress to level 9, we get another action here. We get the Supreme Sneak, which allows you to blend into the environment so completely that you become invisible. Huge, because then you're going to have the advantage on your attack rolls there. So that is a really nice thing to have for sure. As you get into level 10, we also get another feat here. So this can be really up to you. Constitution increase, not going to go for that one. You can increase the you can go with moderately armored, which increases your strength or dexterity alongside armor proficiency. but I think that the best thing to go for is, it depends if you're going to be, yeah, I think Savage Attacker or Ability Improvement would make a melee weapon attacks. You roll your damage dice twice and use the highest result, so you're just flat out going to be doing more damage. This is really good for fighters as well as rogues, or really any class that uses, anytime that you're using your weapon often. Now our class feature that we're going to get is Reliable Talent. When you make an ability check with a skill that you're proficient with, the lowest result you can roll on the die is 10, so that's nice to have, just the reliability, I guess, of that. And then as we go into level 12, this is where we're going to get our final feat, and this can really round out the build. So Savage Attacker is a great one to have. You can start to go into some different types of builds. Like, personally, I really liked Sharpshooter. Now, the way that I build my rogue is I use two single-hand crossbows. Now, what makes Sharpshooter so nice is, yes, you lose a -5 penalty to the attack roll, but you increase the damage by 10. So what this means is if you go bang bang, you got 2 + 10 damages, which is crazy useful. And you're not always going to be attacking in close range, so I think that this is really nice, as well as you don't get the you don't lose damage from being on low ground. So depends. Sharpshooter, if you're going to be using the two dual wielding crossbows, or you can go with Ability Improvement and pump up your dexterity. There is some items that is going to increase our dexterity, but it's all down to you what you think works best for your build. I'm just going with the Sharpshooter there. I do think, however, that the best build for Astarion does mix him with Ranger, as you're able to get a little bit more damage out, as there's some skills that the Ranger has that just is really nice. So there it is, the best OP rogue build for just a plain 12 rogue in Baldur's Gate 3. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video useful, please hit the subscribe button below, and I'll see you in the next video.